Our topic today is the rational numbers and the irrational numbers. As we have already defined all the terminating numbers and the repeating numbers are recurring numbers. Now I would explain it on the basis of these, the rationals and the irrational numbers. So rational numbers are those numbers which are expressed in the form of P over Q, where Q is not equal to 0. They are known as to be called rational numbers. Or in simple words, if a number is there which can be converted back to the form of this fraction number, it is known as to be called rational number there. And that rational numbers are denoted by letter Q there. So Q is basically the notation for this rational numbers. Suppose let's talk about the integers. So integers are -3. If it is no denominator, then 1 is always a denominator. So this number is expressed in the form of P over Q. So this is known as to be called a rational number. 5 is an integer, but if 5 is divided by 1, then we know that it is in the form of fraction and still the value is the same and it is in the form of P over Q. So it is known as to be called rational numbers there. As far as the fraction is concerned, we know that there are two things in it. One is terminating and one is recurring or repeating. So let's talk about first the terminating series. Suppose a number there is, this is a fractional number, 0.5. So if point is removed, it will be divided by 10. So it should be equal to 1 by 2. So it is in the form of this fraction there. 0.62. So point is removed, so it should be 100 there, and that thing is equal to 31 over 50. So that is also known as to be called a rational number there. So this is about the terminating numbers, which is exactly divisible. So they are all known as to be called rational numbers there. As far as the repeating or recurring numbers, so here repeating numbers 0.3 bar or 0.3 dot. So this will be written in the form of fraction 3 over 9, not instead of 10. It will be one decimal place, so you should write it 9 there. So again, it is equal to 1 by 3, which is in the form of the fraction. So it is known as to be called rational number there. Suppose we have another number 0.41 bar. So that is equal to 41 over, because there are two digits, so write it as 99 there. So 41 over 99 is also a rational number there. Suppose there is 3.21 bar. This is equal to 3 plus 21 over 99. So this number is also known as to be called, or it can be further written as 3 plus 21 over 99. So basically it is equal to 3 plus 7 over 33. This is written as 3 whole 7 over 33. It should be equal to 106 over 33. So it is in the form of the fraction. So this is also known as to be called a rational number there. Then we talk about the radical numbers. When we talk about these radical numbers, then suppose it is 8 cubic root, which is basically equal to 8 power 1 by 2, or it is 2 power 3 power 1 by 3, or that is equal to 2, which is written as 2 over 1. So this is known as to be called a rational number there. Suppose there is another number 81, power root there is 4. So it will be written as 81 power 1 by 4, or it should be equal to 3 power 4 power 1 by 4, or that is equal to 3, which is written as 3 over 1. So this is known as to be called a rational number there. So all radical numbers which have the exact valuation there, they are known as to be called rational numbers, and which don't have the valuation there, so they are known as to be called irrational numbers. So let me explain the second phase of that thing, that is known as to be called irrational numbers. So all those numbers which have neither repeating, neither recurring, nor there is radical numbers which can be exactly evaluated, nor there is decimal which is not repeated or not recurring, or nor there is fractional numbers in such a way that the numbers are not repeated, they are all known as to be called irrational numbers. So irrational numbers definition is basically which are not rationals, and they are known as to be called irrational numbers there, which is denoted by I. So the first value of that thing is square root of 2, because it is neither terminated, nor it is recurring, nor it is in the form of the fraction which is repeated there. So it is known as to be called an irrational number there. Suppose we have 331 square root. This is again an irrational numbers, which cannot be exactly evaluated, neither there is termination. So it is known as to be called irrational numbers. Pi itself is known as to be called irrational number. And fourth cubic root is also an irrational number. 81 fifth root is also an irrational number there. So all those numbers which are not rational, they are known as to be called an irrational numbers there. And finally, the union of this rational and irrational numbers, union is the combination of all those numbers, is known as to be called the real numbers. So real numbers means all those numbers except infinity, they are known as to be called the real numbers. So which is the combination of these rational numbers as well as the combination of the irrational numbers. So this is the concept of that rational and irrational and the real numbers, and the other things are like that: integers, fractions, decimal, and the radical numbers.